Hello, dear viewers, and welcome back to our channel, where we meticulously unravel the intricate tapestry of the British royal family, bringing you the most compelling narratives and the latest developments from the heart of the monarchy. Today, we delve into a saga that continues to cast a long shadow over one of its most controversial figures, His Royal Highness, Prince Andrew, the Duke of York. For years, the Duke has been embroiled in a series of highly publicized controversies, seemingly unable to escape the glare of public scrutiny regarding his past associations and financial arrangements. Just when it might have appeared that the tempest surrounding him was beginning to subside, a fresh wave of revelations has once again pulled him back into the unforgiving spotlight, reigniting questions about his future within the House of Windsor. Before we embark on this detailed exploration of the Duke of York's ongoing predicaments, do remember to extend your support by giving this video a thumbs up, sharing it with fellow royal enthusiasts, and, of course, subscribing to our channel. Your engagement helps us continue to bring you these in-depth analyses. Now, let us turn our attention to the heart of today's discussion. Prince Andrew's steadfast refusal to relinquish his opulent residence, Royal Lodge, a sprawling, historic mansion nestled within the picturesque grounds of Windsor Great Park. This protracted dispute with his elder brother, His Majesty King Charles III, over this very property has been a quiet but persistent undercurrent in royal affairs for quite some time, simmering beneath the surface of more immediate headlines. To truly grasp the gravity of this situation, we must first cast our minds back to the events that irrevocably altered the Duke of York's standing. Prince Andrew, once a prominent working royal, found his life irrevocably changed following the seismic shockwaves of his sex scandal, and, more specifically, his deeply troubling connections to the late disgraced financier, Jeffrey Epstein. The allegations, which sent shockwaves globally, led to an unprecedented decision by Her late Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, a move that effectively stripped him of his revered royal titles, his military affiliations, and his various patronages. This dramatic curtailment of his public life left him largely isolated, residing in the grand, yet increasingly contentious, Royal Lodge. For several years now, whispers and indeed more overt reports have circulated within palace circles, indicating that King Charles harbored a strong desire to see his younger brother vacate the magnificent Royal Lodge. The reasons cited were manifold and quite practical. The sheer scale of the 30-room mansion, with its extensive grounds, demands substantial and continuous financial investment for its upkeep. It was widely believed that, given his now diminished income and public role, Prince Andrew was simply unable to shoulder the enormous financial burden required to maintain such a grand estate. Furthermore, reports emerged suggesting that the property itself was in a state of disrepair, a condition deemed unsuitable for a royal residence, particularly one so steeped in history. In a telling sign of the perceived precariousness of the situation, certain valuable relics and precious works of art, which had long adorned the interiors of Royal Lodge, were reportedly removed from the property. This was done, it was said, for their safekeeping, a move that painted a stark picture of the ongoing challenges. Despite the mounting pressure and the implicit expectation for him to downsize, Prince Andrew has consistently resisted any notion of eviction. He has vehemently pushed back against suggestions that he should relocate to a more modest dwelling, specifically Frogmore Cottage, a property of significantly smaller dimensions that was once home to the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. This steadfast refusal to budge has been a source of considerable friction, a silent battle of wills between the brothers. Adding another layer of complexity to this already intricate saga, there were persistent rumors that King Charles III had in fact been personally covering the substantial rent for his brother's residence. This speculation arose amid reports that the monarch had been left deeply displeased, even in a state of discord, with Andrew for repeatedly defying his instructions and wishes regarding the property. However, the precise truth of whether the king was indeed footing these bills on Andrew's behalf was never definitively confirmed, especially after Charles made the significant decision to cut off the funds previously allocated for Andrew's personal security. This move in itself was a clear signal of the king's intention to reduce the financial obligations of the monarchy towards his estranged sibling. Yet, in a surprising turn of events that seemed to bring a temporary cessation to the hostilities, sources close to the situation recently conveyed to Express UK that Prince Andrew had, in what appeared to be a significant victory, won the row with Charles. These sources indicated that Andrew would indeed be staying put at Royal Lodge, a residence for which he had signed a legally binding 75-year lease back in 2003, an agreement that had been formally approved by the Crown Estate. This news, for a moment, suggested a resolution, a peaceful end to the protracted disagreement. However, the nature of this victory was quickly qualified by discerning royal commentators and experts. Hilary Fordwich, a prominent royal expert, offered a sobering assessment to Fox News Digital, characterizing Andrew's apparent triumph as merely a limited Pyrrhic win. For those unfamiliar with the term, a Pyrrhic victory is one that comes at such a great cost that it is tantamount to a defeat. In this context, Miss Fordwich elaborated that while Andrew might have secured his continued residency at Royal Lodge, this achievement certainly did not signify any reclamation of his former stature, neither in the eyes of the public nor, crucially, within the confines of his own family. Her analysis underscored that his ability to remain at Royal Lodge was solely attributable to his existing legal rights, which derived directly from that original, binding 75-year lease agreement struck with the Crown Estate in 2003. It was, she stressed, not a reflection of any favorable shift in perception or any movement towards Andrew's personal or public redemption. Miss Fordwich also highlighted a critical point that undoubtedly weighs heavily on the minds of the senior royals: the intense and unrelenting public scrutiny directed towards royal spending. In an era where transparency and accountability are increasingly demanded, any perception that King Charles was covertly subsidizing Prince Andrew's extravagant lifestyle, particularly given Andrew's disgraced status, would undoubtedly reflect very poorly on the monarch himself, and by extension, on the entire institution of the monarchy. Such an arrangement could easily be perceived as an egregious misuse of public funds, or, at the very least, a stark disconnect from the economic realities faced by the average citizen. As for the Duke himself, his personal conduct and character continue to be a source of profound embarrassment. Recent revelations, meticulously detailed in the historian Andrew Lowney's latest book, paint a rather unflattering portrait of Prince Andrew's alleged antics. These accounts, according to Lowney, are poised to further destroy his relationship with both his family and the public. The historian unflinchingly describes the Duke as an entitled embarrassment to both realms, to his royal relatives who bear the brunt of his controversies, and to the wider public whose faith in the monarchy is constantly tested by such scandals. This portrayal suggests a deeply ingrained sense of privilege, a characteristic that, in the contemporary era, is increasingly viewed with disdain rather than deference. Intriguingly, Lowney's book also posits that His Royal Highness, the Prince of Wales, William, is actively engaged in efforts behind the scenes to facilitate his uncle's eviction from Royal Lodge. As the future king, Prince William reportedly harbors a strong conviction that Prince Andrew is not merely mismanaging the property, but is, in fact, abusing the property and his privilege there. This sentiment from the heir apparent underscores a growing generational divide within the royal family and a clear determination to safeguard the integrity and reputation of the monarchy as it transitions into a new era. Prince William, it is widely believed, is keen to present a streamlined, efficient, and ethical monarchy, one that is free from the scandals and perceived excesses of the past. This brings us to a crucial piece of information, a potential lifeline for Prince William's objectives, and indeed a critical turning point in this protracted saga. It appears there exists a specific loophole within the original 75-year lease agreement for Royal Lodge, a clause that could, in time, provide Prince William with the legal grounds he needs to finally compel his uncle to vacate the premises. Hilary Fordwich, the royal expert, pointed out this significant detail. In 2028, this issue may well be revisited. She elaborated that at that specific juncture, the Crown Estate, which is responsible for managing the hereditary land and property of the sovereign, will have new and compelling grounds to either review or, indeed, revoke the lease. The basis for such a review or revocation would stem directly from disputes concerning the property's maintenance. This stipulation essentially places a ticking clock on Prince Andrew's tenure at Royal Lodge. In the intervening years between now and 2028, the onus remains squarely on him to adequately fund the estate's consistently costly repairs, ensure its meticulous upkeep, and, crucially, cover the substantial expenses associated with his own security, which, as we noted, is no longer subsidized by the king. This particular detail, the 2028 clause, appears to be profoundly significant, potentially rendering any perceived deal between King Charles and Prince Andrew, particularly one in which the monarch might be secretly underwriting his brother's lifestyle and the maintenance of Royal Lodge, utterly moot in the long run. If such a clandestine arrangement does indeed exist, it would merely serve as a temporary reprieve, a short-term solution to a long-term problem that is destined to resurface with renewed vigor. Given the sheer volume of scandals and controversies that have consistently plagued Prince Andrew's public life over the past several years, it appears increasingly probable that Prince William will ultimately succeed in his endeavor to ensure his uncle understands and accepts his appropriate, albeit diminished, place within the royal family. The future king, burdened with the responsibility of upholding the monarchy's image and ensuring its continued relevance in the modern world, cannot afford to have a figure like Prince Andrew, with his history of damaging headlines, continue to occupy such a prominent and costly position. The year 2028 thus looms as a pivotal date, a moment of reckoning that could finally bring an end to Prince Andrew's residency at Royal Lodge and perhaps mark the conclusive chapter in his public royal life. The ongoing saga of Royal Lodge is not merely a dispute over property. It is a profound reflection of the evolving dynamics within the British royal family, a testament to the king's determination to streamline the monarchy, and a poignant reminder of the enduring consequences of past actions. This event certainly gives us much to reflect upon regarding the future trajectory of the monarchy and the delicate balance between tradition, family ties, and public expectation. What are your thoughts on this complex and unfolding situation? Do you believe Prince Andrew should be allowed to remain at Royal Lodge, or is it time for him to relinquish the property? Share your opinions in the comments section below. We always appreciate hearing from our discerning viewers. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel for more in-depth royal analyses, and hit that notification bell so you won't miss our next update on the fascinating world of the British royal family. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in our next video.